This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together, we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Live from Los Angeles, we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with the universal law. We also break through all limiting beliefs and identities in the subconscious mind so that we can claim our birthright of prosperity, love, and vitality. So today's podcast is titled The Power of Organization. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling out on the profound truth. The first principle of heaven is order. The first principle of heaven is order. And as somebody who absolutely loves working with soulpreneurs, I love developing people in their companies, spiritually based, soul-based companies, products and services, spiritual coaches, spiritual practitioners, ministers, and doctors of divinity. It is imperative that there is a reason why we call our business an organization, because you got to get organized. And it is in my commitment to help people become the CEO of their personal and professional life, their spiritual and business world. It is all one thing. It is all one thing, which is you in expression, projecting and reflecting back in your life, the mirror of life. So let's break this on down. The power of organization. And I'm going to give you some distinctions today, and I can't give you all of them, obviously, because we teach this in Soul Society, but it has been quite a journey of organization. Let me tell you, I have this image in my head. I'll never forget. I was in high school. I was 16 years old, and I remember opening the door to my bedroom, and it was literally like a bomb had gone off. There was clothes and clothes and clothes and things and shoes and books and purses and you name it, everywhere across my room. And I remember cleaning my room, and it took me, I think, 4 hours to clean my room. I kid you not. And I remember it was so much work that I remember sitting down and committing to myself and saying, I'm never, ever, ever going to let my room get that messy again. And I'm sure it happened again, but not to that level. And as I began to, grow up and start adulting, of course, my home would get, messy, but not extremely messy. But I was not an organized person at all. I had different projects I'd begin and I wouldn't finish them. Everything was incomplete. I never had any kind of schedule for doing my bills or taxes, and everything was stressful. It was stressful to do mail. It was stressful to do my taxes. It was stressful to complete cycles of anything. But my life still worked. It didn't diswork. It did not work. It wasn't like dysfunctional or like I wasn't falling apart or I didn't not do my taxes or things like that. But it was always like just reacting to life or getting organized just when I had to, or procrastinating and things like that. And as I began to get more and more into my own self-development and into my spiritual work, I realized that I wanted to have more organization and I didn't want to have stress in my life. So I began to get a little bit less disorganized. It wasn't like I was getting organized, I was just getting less disorganized, right? And I remember I had a coach years and years ago, and he said that I want you to go through what's called cycles of action. So what he had me do is we had to go through everything, and we had to go through our entire life. We had to go through our home and clean it out, basically. Basically look at everything in our life, every material thing, and realize, are we using it? Are we not using it? Does it align with what really matters, our priorities and our core values in life? Does it align with our mission and our vision? And I remember I did this multiple times through different leadership programs, and I remember the different levels of what it was. First time it was kind of just thinking that, I'm cleaning out closets and everything's going to look pretty. And, and then the next level was, years later with the next coach, it was like, I don't need a lot of this stuff. And I remember, I had saved so much money and gotten things and had this nice little life, and I had my spiritual realm on one side of my world and my normal world on the other side, and they weren't aligning together. I remember I had, had a big home on a golf course, on a signature golf hole, and I had bought golf clubs because that was the thing to do. I lived on a golf course, so why would you not buy golf clubs? And as I went through this next cycle of action, I realized and got more clear on my mission and vision. Golf didn't exactly, it just wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I was really deep into my spiritual work. I was deep into transformation work. I was deep into leadership work. I was even giving up my old world of real estate investing, things like that. I was literally handing my life over to my spiritual work. And I realized that golf was not in that mission or vision. And so I remember there were brand new clubs. There were, I don't know, thousands of dollars or something like that. And I gave them away to my mom. And it was just this cycle of, and it sounds so first world and so, uppity, it's kind of embarrassing to even tell that story. But I remember also things like in my closet, I had, it was 40 pairs of jeans or something like that, ridiculous. And I just remember being like, let it go. Like, you don't need these. Someone else is going to really benefit from this. And it was just, it began to be this process of really letting go of things. And then a coach asked me, what are your must-haves? And I recognized that my must-haves in my business and my personal life and things like that, it meant I was actually decluttering my life from different communities and different people, maybe dysfunctional or people that just had a lot of drama or whatever. So it's like literally organizing my inner world, my outer world. Everything began to be this order. And in society, our tagline is live your truth. And what we really do is we help people from an internal world because we know everything starts with them. And so getting organized is, yes, it is in your external world, but getting organized really begins in mind. It begins in the principle of understanding what are your core values. What really matters to you in your life, and that's how we birth people's purpose and their legacy and their mission and their vision and everything is really aligning to that organization of what is within. And so I'm not going to get so into that today because we get into that in many other podcasts and stuff of getting order within. This podcast, I want to help you a few distinctions today to help you get organized in your external world, in your business world, and in your professional life. Things that have really transformed my ability to organize and schedule out and do things to help me align with my mission and vision. And so each year, at the end of the year or beginning of the year, a lot of people will have a new year and they'll set their goals and they get out their day timers or their, calendars and they schedule out things like that. Well, in society, I train the women and a few men to become the CEOs of their life. And we actually work on quarters. So if you work with big CEOs, which I worked with for a long time, you'll notice that they do quarters Q1, 2, 3, and 4. And so if you want to get really organized in your life, I recommend getting organized in a quarterly basis. So at the end of each quarter, what we do is we celebrate all of our wins. We take a look at our goals and see what we hit and what we didn't hit, and we organize the entire next quarter. So the next 3 months, we have some type of a plan, everything from our social media scheduling to when we're going to do our, marketing and sales, what we're doing on all different aspects. When we pay our bills on 1st and 15th, things like that. And we get super organized. And what this does from a perspective of coming back to the spiritual aspect of the first principle of heaven is order, is that I always think of it like salsa dancing. Salsa dancing, I love salsa dancing, and there's a masculine and feminine energy, right, in all of us. And when you're dancing, so the man, if you will, is really he actually is kind of guiding. He is the staple. He's kind of like a pillar. And the female energy or the woman dances around that masculine energy. And the more confident and more firm the man is in leading and being a pillar, the more the feminine or the women aspect can dance around in elegance and letting go and not worrying about where it's going exactly. So I think about that in my organization, in that when I have a plan on my calendar and really plan out what is actually getting, results in my business. And I begin to actually structure that out on my calendar, then I can actually have a calendar for everything from social media to when we're doing sales to everything. But I also can go, I'm going to go off track from my schedule a little bit today. Obviously, I don't change meetings, but I will go off track sometime, okay? So it's important to have a real disciplined schedule, but also be open to that or something greater, right? So I recommend for you to take a look at your life and take a look at where your priorities are. There's the 80-20 rule in business, and it means that out of all the 100% of the tasks that you do, 20% of the things are actually getting you results. They're actually having you, make an impact in people's lives, helping you, get income, things like that. And I want you to begin to take a look at your whole life and maybe begin to track it. So when I'm working one-on-one with someone, I will actually begin to look at everything they're doing, and I want them to take notes on it for one full week and notice what is getting them results, what is not getting them results, what can they delegate and what can they not, okay? So I have a story of a gentleman I was in a relationship with for some years, and he's an amazing man. I'm still in a relationship with him in business and stuff. But anyway, he ran, I think he had about 400 employees and had jets and was very successful, very unconscious and making a difference in the world. But anyway, I witnessed him and how he handled his schedule. And what he did is anytime he had anything come in his, through a text, through an email, through somebody talking to him that he needed to handle something, he would do one of three things. And what he would do is he would either schedule it right then and there, he'd get it on his calendar right then and there. He would delegate it. He would hand it off to his assistant or to whoever or whatever. He'd send an email right then and there, or he would handle it. He was on his BlackBerry a lot. It was back in the day. And the thing is, he never didn't handle it. So I think of it as a metaphor of when you're going to bed at night and you walk in your room and you take off your clothes, and you can either put them on that chair, and then next day you got to hang it up anyway. Or you can just hang it up. It might be a teeny bit, 10%, 20% more effort at that point in time, but it actually saves you about 100% effort, right? So the point is that when you're creating order in your life, when you're creating organization, you need to kind of take a look back and begin to, I think, declutter from a top perspective, like really, clear out your phone, clear out your computer, clear out all the things that help you get organized. And then you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it's like you get clear of what your core values are, right? Then you get clear of what your must-haves are, right? You start organizing and letting go of different events. You start letting go of tasks in your business that you don't care about. And another thing is completing cycles. So the projects, I remember going through and I had, 3 different books I was working on. And I was like, well, why don't I just finish one book? You know what I mean? Like, let it go. So you have to decide in all the projects, you either decide you're going to do it and you're going to get it scheduled in when you're going to complete that project, or you complete the project, or you let it go to the universe, right? So my invitation for you today, I can't get into the details of creating, like we create our entire social media year calendar in Society, and we work on the quarters and scheduling out everything from when you do your lead gen to when you do your promotions and when you do your accounting and things like that. I help the girls really organize on the back end. We create organization manuals for their businesses and things like that. So today I just want to have you have some takeaways for yourself. So my invitation is for you today to actually physically clean out your house, your car, your computer, and your phone. That's my invitation. If you just did that, you'd have just a surge of energy because it's so good. Cleaning out your closets are one of the greatest things to like go, you know what? There's a vacuum in this universe. And when you give away something else, the right thing has to fill up. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. Okay, so follow your bliss in whatever you do. For me, my time and my schedule is so important. I remember putting things on my calendar years ago. I'd pretend to be getting organized, and I'd put things on my calendar. And then I wouldn't look at my calendar. And I'd be like, oh, whoops, I forgot that it was on my calendar, right? So my relationship with my calendar, I use Gmail calendar and a business account. And it is like a sacred thing for me, because if something goes on my calendar and on my schedule, it's gone on there because it's important to me. And I have thought on this, I've meditated on it, I've done a lot of core work on this. And so my calendar now is really important to me. And it is a place to know, when do I have my daily spiritual practice, for my regular world? When am I doing my social work? Social, stuff, right? So this is another concept, is if we talk about this a lot, right? So if you have a big, huge vat, a big, huge bowl or something like that, a big glass jar, and if you have a bunch of things you need to get done in your life, there's big boulders, there's little stones, and there's little pebbles, and there's sand. All the different things you got to get done in your day, in your week, in your year, okay? And so if you start putting in the little things first, then you won't be able to put in those big boulders. The only way you're going to fit everything into your glass jar is if you put the big boulders in first, and then you put the medium ones, and then you put the little pieces of sand. So I want you to think of your life like that. What really matters to you? What are those big things in your life? Scheduling in the times that you need vacations and to rejuvenate is just as important as getting the big tasks done in your company, okay? We've got to prioritize the things that really get us where we want to be in life. Put those on your calendar. Put the smaller things in, put your tasks in, and begin to prioritize what really matters to you in the organization of your core values and your heart's mission and vision, okay? So I hope today that you got some great little takeaways, and I invite you to consider coming into Soulciety if you're somebody who's a soul-based business owner, you do service or products, and you really want some incredible leadership skills in your personal and professional life. We go through the 8 pillars of business. We also go through all the spiritual work and getting organized and getting clear of what your mission is here, your legacy that you're leaving. So it's an incredible journey of really helping people become the CEO of their personal and professional life. And so on this note, I know that the first principle of heaven is order. And I know within you, there is specifically something for you to do in this life. You have a specific purpose and calling. And I recognize as you get so clear of what that is, as you release your limited beliefs, as you release your limited identities, as you go through your trauma and your past lives and all that profound spiritual work, I know there is something born in you, which is your purpose and calling. And in that, I recognize then we know exactly what it is to do out in this outer world, getting organized, so organized in your schedule, on your calendar, and knowing exactly the specific things that are yours to handle and where to delegate and where to schedule it and what to do every single day, every single way, that so you can be the most efficient and the most powerful, rising and thriving in your life and saying no more chaos. I say yes to order because my order is aligning to my truth. So may you live your truth. May you love your life. May you never work another day in your life. I know that this is the truth. And to the extent to which you really desire it, it is your destiny. So have a wonderful day, you guys. You can check out Soulciety or DM me on social media at drerin.tv, drein.tv, and let's create you to be a powerful, the best, highest CEO, a divine guided soulpreneur. Have a great day, you guys, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciety and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is drein.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciety. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.